So this lecture on benchmarking is going to mark our first step into formally gathering information. And so by gathering information, we're talking about looking through the internet for patents, technical articles, trade journals, talking to people, consultants. You could talk to your customers. We're going to do customers in the next lecture. Or even going on, online stores and seeing what products are available in your design space. So gathering information is the second part of conceptual design. And then it's important for us to gather the information here because we have the problem defined. So we're trying to better understand possible solutions and our customers so that in the next 2 weeks we can generate new concepts and ideas to solve our problem with designs that are better than what's on the market today. So benchmarking is looking at how others have solved your problem. So it's a measure of a company's operations against the best practices inside and outside of their industry. So for solving your problem, you need to look at the best solutions that currently exist, not something like the cheapest solutions that exist. So sources of resistance in gathering information and benchmarking and going straight to design could be you're in fear of being perceived as copiers. You don't want to look at designs that exist already and then base your design off that. Although if you don't know what designs exist already, you don't know if your design is going to be better or worse than that when you're done. So it's better to improve on an existing design than to create a completely new design that nobody actually wants. So arrogance, you feel you have nothing to learn, that you can come up with a better solution than anybody's ever come up with a problem before. And then impatience of just wanting to get to paper and design something immediately. And so this is a problem. If you go too fast into the design process, you're going to spend time in the machine shop building something that isn't really the best solution for your problem. And so to do benchmarking, you need to select product, processes, or functional areas related to your design problem and identify the best-in-class companies. So the companies with the lowest cost and highest consumer satisfaction are the most effective solutions to your problem. And by understanding those, you can go ahead in the next phase whenever we go to trying to improve upon them or create new ideas. So this is an example from a previous design course I taught where the project was to stop ATV rollovers. And before the students began benchmarking, their idea was to put arms on the side of the vehicle so that it could mechanically not tip over once it started rolling. Although those are very not aesthetic, so a lot of people prefer not to have those on their machine, even though it's safer. And also it makes, the machine wider so you can fit maybe through as tight as spaces as you could before. So whenever they searched, they found this flip alert where when you start flipping, an alarm goes off, and you could maybe, use that, combine it with an engineering mechanism so that when the alarm goes off, it actually stops the vehicle. And that's what they based their design off of, which was kind of a more innovative thing than what they initially thought the first day of class. So it's important to have that, plausible solution to your problem, but then also to explore if there's something non-obvious or a better way of solving it. So once you've found your benchmarked products, you need to actually perform the benchmarking, which means to define the features, the functions, and other factors that make the product successful. So this is related to, what users might say about the product. So you could always look up on Amazon or other review sites what people actually say about the product once they have it. And what they say positive is something that you could incorporate in your design, and what they say negative is something that you could improve in a design in the future. You should recognize that the more functions you have in your product, it's going to have a greater cost. So rather than taking all the functions from all of your benchmarked products, you want to concentrate on what areas have the greatest potential for improvement. and also what's going to differentiate you from what's on the market today. We'll also be doing patent searches to solve our problem and compare designs. So patents are a form of intellectual property that protect an invention. The invention must be new or novel, it must be useful, and it shouldn't be obvious to a person skilled in the art covered by the patent. And so intellectual property and patents are done generally so that you can protect an idea. So you can go to market with that idea and no competitor can use it unless you license the idea. So you can use it freely on the market and benefit from your invention before other people come in. And it's important to do at this phase in design so that you can see what exists out there already, so that you're not creating, designs that are patented already. So you would have to license that patent in order to create a company around your design. And also you can see maybe some non-obvious solutions to the problem that might also not be marketed yet. So if you only look at products, you're not seeing all of the inventions that could solve your problem. And by products, I mean those that are on the market already versus those that are just protected. And we'll talk more about patents later in the course as well. To search for patents, you need to recognize they're a legal document. They have an exposition, solution, and applications of the problem. Generally, you want to search for patents because you've been asked to comment on a patent used by a competitor. You're looking for ideas to improve your concept. You have a good design and want to determine if it's novel. And you want to update yourself so you know the state of the art in technology. And so for searching for patents, we're going to use patents.google to search. Here's an example of a patent from the Dieter and Schmidt book, basketball retrieval and return device. So the problem here is when you're practicing basketball by yourself, when you shoot the basket, the ball doesn't come back to you. So you're spending a lot of time going after balls as opposed to, shooting, which is what you want to practice. So here you have a big net around the basketball goal and then a rolling mechanism to get the ball back to you. A second solution is a big net around the basketball goal and then it shoots the ball back to you. And so I like these two patents because it shows that for one problem you can solve it in multiple ways. And so you could probably think of even further ways to solve this problem that isn't going to infringe on either of these patents moving forward. One of the things that the patents need to include is the physics of the problem. So here's a schematic from them that shows, the person in relation to the goal and what's happening with the basketball and, the general dimensions of the problem so that the engineering relevancy is there. An example patent search from patents.google.com, which I said earlier is probably going to be your best bet and reliable patent search engine. So this was from a design group that wanted improved walking efficiency for somebody that had a disease condition that made it difficult for them to walk, cerebral palsy. And so in this patent, they found by searching walking plus efficiency, a walking apparatus with multiple legs. And one of the things in their schematics that they really indicated was the center of gravity. And so efficiency in walking can be improved just mechanically, biomechanically, by altering where your center of gravity is in relation to your motion. So this is an idea where maybe you don't copy this idea exactly, but you take some principles from it to apply to your own design. So this concludes the lecture. I'm happy to talk further with anybody who's interested in patenting. We have a really great office here at Texas Tech that can look at your design projects and see if they're patentable, if that's a route you might want to go through in the future. And we can even, invite somebody on a Zoom chat from that office to talk to the class if there's interest for that as well.